Hi, I'm Carl Schilling, and I'm the founder and CEO of the Advocacy Network. And I want to thank you so much for being with us here today. I know your time is very valuable, so I will try to get through this very, very important information as quickly and smoothly as possible. Tell you a little bit about advocacy, just so you understand what we do. We basically are committed to stopping all forms of financial victimization. We do that through providing um, awareness, creating financial literacy education, which is always free, those workshops, and we actually can use those for prospecting as well as agents. You can see how that could benefit you. And lastly, we try to help as many people as possible attain financial independence. And that's what I'm going to be speaking to you about today. I'm speaking to you today about a way for you as an agent, as a financial services professional, to be able to get paid to prospect, create unlimited referrals, and also at the same time exponentially grow your practice. We really want to show people how to build seven-figure practices. So we're going to go over that information, going to show you what the problem is, going to show a very, very cogent solution to that problem, and that's going to show you how to grow the referrals and go from there, okay? So at the end, and then we'll show you the call to action, what it is you need to do to get involved. All right. So thank you so much for being again with us here today. Many of you may be here today for Rolando Gonzalez and his IRG benefits. If so, when we're done, Rolando is the person who will take care of enrolling and getting you started. Some may be from Jim Ashley, and same thing with Jim's people. Okay. So what we want to start off with today is looking at the normal condition that people are in. Okay, presently, here's the major problem. We live in the wealthiest nation in the world, and at the same time, we also have the highest rate of financial illiteracy in the world. And this leads to the certain kind of destitution that people see in the fourth quarter of life. Because here's the numbers. 95% of our population that reaches 65 and older, they are either dead broke, or financially dependent. Financially dependent at best. That's where they end up. Only 5% become financially dependent. So what we want to show you here today is what it is those people do to become financially dependent. But here's the normal condition. People work, they earn, they spend, they borrow, and they pay. Now those payments represent a loss of future dollars because those payments are through something we call amortization. Those are future interest payments because you took money from your future when you borrow. It's your money. It's not the bank's. Here's what a lot of people get confused about. It's your money in the form of unearned income. It's money that you have not yet earned, but it's money that you decided to put to use now for your lifestyle or life experience. The penalty for that is interest payments. And those interest payments over time represent a loss of future dollars. And if you continue to lose those dollars, you have no way to financial independence. Now, the preferred condition is pretty simple. We want to show people how to stop losing money into the future. So people still work, they earn, they spend, they borrow, but they also take the first step. The first step is to eliminate interest payments as soon as possible so that they can then earn interest. There's only two things money can do with interest. Okay, money either pays interest or money earns interest. The reason 95% end up financially dependent at best is because they, through their lifetime, continued to pay interest. They never got the opportunity to earn interest because those dollars that were busy paying interest were never available for their use. So the preferred condition is to find a solution and take the first step. Now, our solution here at Advocacy, what we've done is we have strategically aligned with a company called Trivesta out of Texas, and Trivesta is a company I did all the due diligence and I vetted fully to make sure that they were a sound company and everything would work out well for us. But they have a software solution called Prospio. And Prospio is simply a money management software that is fully automated that shows people how to eliminate those interest payments as soon as humanly possible. Because as you'll see here, the greatest financial victimization that we have in our society today is called amortization. The average American is being robbed of any opportunity for financial independence because their interest payments consume the dollars which could be used to create financial independence. All the majority of people in our society are doing is compounding their losses. They're not compounding interest for themselves because they're still paying interest. So Prospio is a money management software which is going to be totally automated, and it's going to help people eliminate those interest payments as soon as possible and allow it to be redirected for their own wealth accumulation, thus creating financial independence. As financial services professionals, our number one goal, our number one focus should be helping people become financially independent. That's everything we do and talk about money is for their financial independence. Now, all that people do with Prospio is simply use their money differently. They're simply reallocating and redistributing the dollars that they presently are using for debt service or to pay debts. So Prospio is a software. It's going to do the work for them. They follow a simple set of directions. They'll save interest payments into the future. They then get to put those savings to work, and their money will earn money. Thus, they get onto the cycle where they and their money is earning interest. Now, people can continue on the status quo, and this is only going to propel them into the 95%. And the status quo is that people pay their bills, they pay their interest, they're very good citizens, they pay on time, they just continue to lose money unbeknownst to them, and they stay in this vicious cycle. The best that cycle can do for them, regardless what you do as a financial services professional for them, as long as they continue to lose money, it has no bearing all the other good things you might do for them and show them. Because it's familiar to having a hole in a boat. If you have a boat, nice fancy boat that you're going to try to, fix up and build, and you want to take it places and you want to go places, but you got a small hole in the boat and you don't know that you have the hole. So water is constantly being taken on this boat, but you're doing all these other magnificent things with it. You're fixing it up, you're painting it, you're taking care of it. Everything is magnificent, but you have a hole and you don't know you have the hole. So what happens? Ultimately, the boat sinks. The boat took on water, it capsizes, it sinks, because regardless of all the other wonderful things you did, you continue to have the hole. And so it is with your money. As long as you have that hole in your financial plan is going to do nothing for you except continue to allow the banks, merchants, and credit card companies earn money on your money. And they're very happy to do that. They want you to pay that amortization cycle as long as humanly possible. Now let's look here at what Prospio has done to date. So here is averages on the results of over 4,000 users of Prospio. So on your left in red, you see the average mortgage, the average interest rate, the average mortgage payment. All of those are right there. Average other debt, which by the way represents quite a bit in auto loans. That $28,000 on average is majority in auto loans. The average auto loan in this country is $24,000. I found that to be pretty amazing when I saw that. But the average income is about $5,700 a month, and afterwards they have about $336 a month discretionary income. Now, as an insurance agent, you want to pay attention to that because we're always looking for places where premium dollars are going to come from for those life cases, and Prospio is going to show you the discretionary income. I'm going to show you how to get a guaranteed life sale without that, but you will know the discretionary income. So let's look at the results of that. Okay, on average, total savings is over $102,000 over the lifetime, and that's at 30 years, give or take. And then the average savings in the first year is $11,000. In the first 6 months, which I'll get to in a few moments, the average savings is $6,000. Average time to pay off the debts, just under 18 years. And the average time until the users are debt-free, which is the years that people can then start to use the dollars they have for themselves and earn interest, is 10.6 years. And just a projected wealth accumulation based on the years that the debt stops, they have the opportunity to use the dollars for themselves, just at 1% creates over $500,000. Now, I want you also to understand from a credibility factor, Ernst & Young gave Prospio the Entrepreneur of the Year award. And certainly Ernst & Young, pretty big credible player in the marketplace, big name, they would not provide one of those awards on something that didn't work. So we know that Prospio works. Now, I want to add in this one little slide. It's a little off the topic, but I hear a lot of people talk about, and you may hear this and people may tell you this, that, oh, I was told that I should keep my 30-year mortgage because I get a tax savings and it's probably to my benefit to pay my mortgage out over the whole lifetime of the mortgage. Okay, this is a total fallacy. It's a myth. Now, it's not a myth for the upper 3% of income earners who may be living in million-dollar homes with jumbo loans, because those people need certain tax deductions and certain tax advantages. So in their case, it may well be a benefit for them to stay in a mortgage. But for the average middle-class family, which is who we're talking about here, say $60,000 in family income, upwards towards the mass affluent, say $250,000 in family income, it makes no sense to stay in the mortgage for a tax savings. And you can see why. That 20% tax bracket, on average, say a $200,000 mortgage, 4.5%. In 30 years, when they have that wonderful party and burn the mortgage, they will have paid in almost $165,000 in interest. That's interest only. Their total outlay will be just under $365,000. And I can almost assure you that based on what's been going on, we don't know, depending on where they are regionally, the house probably ain't going to be worth that. And the tax savings represents about $1,100 a year. Now, I did this for 30 years because one thing, the tax advantage is not there for 30 years because in year 18, 19, most of the principal has been paid, and those last 10, 11 years is majority paying principal. So there is no tax advantage in paying principal. There's only tax advantage on the interest payment. But I let it run for the 30 years, and $1,100 reinvested at 6% for 30 years equals $86,000, just under $87,000. And that, when you take it off the interest paid, still represents a loss, a net loss of $77,000. So let's look at what would happen if you eliminated 12 years from that mortgage, and basically on your way towards the 30 years, you'd now have $1,221 a month to reinvest for yourself, to earn interest with. So that would be the mortgage payment plus the tax savings. If the tax savings on one side, got to put it on the other, right? So now you can compound money to yourself, compounding all that debt and then putting it in a positive for yourself. So $1,221 a month reinvested at 6%, okay, for the rest of the period, which is those 12 years, brings you to 30 years, and you got a $253,000 gain. So it's a simple question for me. For those who like to tell you that you're going to have such a wonderful tax savings and you should keep your mortgage going, what would you rather have? A $253,000 gain or a $77,000 loss? The choice is yours. It's always yours. Now, I mentioned earlier about the 6-month mark. Remember we said about $6,000 in savings after the 6-month mark? Well, here's something for you on the sales side that makes it very simple. So it makes it very simple to answer any questions that people have. They want to get deep in the weeds on things. It's very simple to show them, look, unlike any other company that I know of in any industry, Trivest is giving you a 6-month money-back guarantee, total risk-free. So you use the software for 6 months, and if at the end of the 6 months you have not saved at least double what you paid to have the software, you get all your money back. So it's no risk. And we're also going to show you where these referrals come from, because people can eliminate the monthly payment as well and have it for free. And that is where we get to the real benefit for you as an insurance agent. Let me show you here how you're going to create unlimited referrals. Now, I speak to a lot of IMOs and FMOs and marketing organizations, and they constantly tell me the same thing. They always tell me, we don't want to distract our agents. And my response to that is, if helping agents get paid to prospect and creating unlimited referrals and exponentially growing their life sales is a distraction, then yes, we are guilty. But if that is something you see as a distraction, I'm not sure why. Okay, the growth of the life insurance sales will grow exponentially. Plus, no one ever needs to buy a lead, pay $1 in marketing. it creates unlimited referrals. And this is how. I have never seen a scenario where I could make one sale and then get unlimited referrals off of just making one sale. And what happens is after you make the first sale, let's say you make the sale to Bob, and you say, oh, Bob, that's great. Now you've taken on a wonderful decision. You're going to stop losing money into the future, and you are on the pathway to financial independence. And as I mentioned, Bob, there's a lot of steps that you have to take along the way to assure your financial independence, but this is a great first step. Now, let me ask you, Bob, if I were able to eliminate the monthly payment, would you be interested? Now, I think Bob's going to be interested, so he's probably going to say, yeah. And then you say, okay, in order for me to help you, I need you to help me, Bob. Just give me the names, numbers, and emails of 10 people you know. Please don't prejudge them. Don't determine who could use it, who couldn't use it. Just give me the 10 most friendly, most closest people you know, and all I'm going to do is the same thing I did with you. I'm going to show them the same process. I'm going to walk them through it. I'm going to show them how to reach financial independence. And when 3 of them decide to enroll just as you did, yours is going to be free. Now, after you get that done, you've got 3 more sales. 3 more sales generates 10 referrals each. It's another 30 referrals, which is going to require 9 more sales to take care of those people, which was going to generate another 90 referrals, which will create a need for 27 more sales, and so on, and so on, and so on. Now, at the end of it, when you do finish up and do the 3 sales, and Bob now does eliminate his monthly payment, you're going to go back to make a life sale. That's what we talk about from a cross-selling process. Before we go there, let's take a quick peek, though, at referrals again. I mean, I think that the holy grail for every insurance agent or every advisor is to have 100% referral practice. And this will do that. Now, from there, you need a cross-sell and an upsell process. And if you don't presently have a cross-sell or an upsell process, you're losing on 2 fronts. 1, you're losing on the growth and expansion of your business. And 2, because you don't have multiple sales and processes inside that system, you're losing on client retention. Because studies have proven that when you have 5 or more lines of business or solutions, financial solutions, whatever in that relationship, then you have a 90% client retention for 7 years. That's a pretty strong retention. That's why the lifetime value of a client is going to go up dramatically in this system. Now, I want to speak a little bit about that cross-sell. Again, cross-sell, when you're going to be able to cross-sell, you're still going to be able to stay in your life and annuities path, the same lane. And by the way, wherever those relationships are now, you don't need to change them. We're not an FMO, IMO, or any kind of organization. We're not trying to get you to change carriers, okay? But you're going to have an immediate $70 to $100 a month immediate creation for a life policy, plus the discretionary income if you want to put that into the life planning. And you can use any kind of concept you want to use, mortgage, mortgage accelerations, tax-free income, retirement planning. And then we do have something called the middle class millionaire plan, which we're rolling out, which will allow you to go to the middle class people you're working with and sell large infinite banking plans. So if you're not familiar with infinite banking, we teach you everything you need to know, but we show you how to get them funded and how to make large life sales to these people. Okay? And it's a beautiful thing. No one really has this kind of system for this. And basically, you're still in your core planning practice. But also, because you're tied to advocacy, unlike any other group in Trivesta, we also have programs that we tie you into, totally free to you, but we tie you into these to make you a financial, what we like to call a financial concierge. We got a system called Retireless, which helps people in the senior markets, but you have other strategic alliances with us. You have the ability for franchises and gold and silver, reverse mortgages, life settlements, structured settlements, business continuation, which is very large if you work the business market, because most people are not really familiar with an exit strategy for their business and the continuation of that business. So you don't have to lead in with life insurance. In none of these sales, because you're cross-selling, life insurance becomes a by the way sale. Oh, by the way. Every other insurance agent right now that you compete with or who's around you, they're leading with the life insurance. They're leading with the annuities. They're leading with all of their products. We're not. We're leading with financial independence. We're showing them how to take that first step. And then, oh, by the way, how does life insurance fit into the system? We mentioned discretionary income. So Prospio is going to identify it, which gives you a target for your life proposals. IUL and whole life policies plug into the system so the client can see what's going on every month and the impact of how the life insurance planning is actually helping them obtain financial independence. The software is actually showing them back on that. And the steps to this are pretty simple. You get a person enrolled. Once they're enrolled, you show them the 3 free. That frees up the money for a life sale. You've also got the discretionary income, could be a larger life sale. Or you get into the middle class millionaire plan and you show them what we're calling guaranteed financial independence. And that's another process. Now, everybody will not be suited for you to take into the middle class millionaire plan. You're going to want to be very choosy there on who you select into that. Everybody else is going to be a life sale. So Trivesta, in summarizing, Trivesta is giving us Prospio. We are relying on that software. People just load the information. They follow directions. It's simple. It's easy. It's effective. They start to basically save their interest payments so that they are earning money into the future, and they get to reallocate those interest savings into earned wealth accumulation. And that is how people can become financially independent. Now, for you, what we're talking to you about today is becoming an advocate in the system. You're going to help others break the cycle. You're going to help as many people as you can possibly find and talk to about financial independence. And then you're going to create unlimited referrals for the same story. You'll create residual income above and beyond your insurance income, which is very, very important, because any way to make a 7-figure income requires multiple streams of income. Prospio is obviously going to become free to you for your use, however you choose to use it. And when I say the choice is always yours, that's when we're talking about building your network. You're going to have so many people who you may want to recruit other insurance agents. Great, you build an agency. You may want to take the people through the middle-class millionaire plan, which is going to make them advocates in the Trivesta system, non-licensed people, going to make them advocates and build them. You could do a combination of both, one or the other, both, however you choose. Now, the process is really simple. All we do, you'll end up with your own website, and we just simply send people to the website and tell them, look at the testimonials. They're people just like you. They're people you work with, people that you socialize with. They're the kind of people who are in the same socioeconomic scenario as you. They're the people with the same kind of problems you have. Just listen to why they got involved with Prospio and listen to the benefits it's given them, what's accrued to them. After you see the testimonials, complete the calculator. There's a calculator right there on the website that'll give you an idea on just how much you can save and what it'll do specifically for you. You got to put real information into that calculator, by the way, because the software is sensitive to the real numbers. Okay. And lastly, if you can't make a decision at that point, if you can't make a sound decision and just enroll and take the first step, there's webinars. We have webinars you can come to, and I'll get into that in a moment. And that webinar is a national webinar going on during the week, and you can see and get a deeper dive if that's what you need. Now, as an insurance agent, I want to step back here because that message that I just gave you was the message you're giving to people who are non-insurance agents, just members, prospects, people going to use the software. But the Advocacy Network, our game plan is pretty simple. We give you a unique positioning outside the white noise. You have a unique approach with us, which is basically discussing financial victimization in that message. And what is the greatest financial victimization in our society? It's amortization. So you're going to show people how to stop compounding their losses. Prospio is simply a leveraged plan to stop compounding losses. It's the first step to financial independence. You have at your fingertips the use of what we do. I'm a certified financial education provider. Okay, so financial literacy provider. So you can create financial literacy workshops. You can use those as marketing for yourself. You can use them, and those are free. You don't have to give out steak dinners. You don't have to make a lot of mailings. You don't have to do a lot of things. You go to a public library. You can bring people in, do community service, talk to local banks, talk to local people around the community who want to do things to help people so that those people would come to them and do business with them. You can become a partner and do those financial literacy workshops at the same time, then sell Prospio at the back room. We mentioned Retireless, which is a system within the Advocacy Network for you as a financial concierge. Those are all upsells based on right after your cross-sell on your life side. And you'll have all those strategic alliances. What we want you to do is get out of the transaction-based business. Too many people in our industry they don't have relationship-based client bases. They have transactional-based, platforms. Their practices are all transactional based. We want you to have relationships because there's a big difference. When you're a financial concierge and you build a relationship with your clients, the lifetime value of that client is going to be between $25,000 and $50,000 on average. Presently, in our industry, the lifetime value of a client is $2,500 because it's all transactional based. And you need to find more and more and more and more people constantly. You build a really strong base of people who are going to be valued to you at $25,000 to $50,000 over the lifetime of your business with them. Doesn't take that many of them for you to have a 7-figure practice. Plus the fact that it's all going to be based on referrals. So as a financial concierge, you're able to tell people, and we say this all the time, and I'm saying this to you as well as an agent, your best interest is our only concern. You're able to tell the people you sit in front of that your best interest is my only concern. When they hear that and see that, they're going to know that you're different. Now, I mentioned the webinars. So for those, what I try to make people understand is you really should be able to close them before they need to get to a webinar. Okay, but if they need to get to a webinar to see more, you don't have to spend a lot of time. You can let the webinar sell for them. Presently, we're still going to be using the national webinars from Trivesta for now there may come a point where we're going to develop our own, but for now, we're still using theirs, and it's 30 to 45 minutes for people to just learn everything they need to learn and then come back and enroll with you. Right? Now, those are every Tuesday and Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Eastern and every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Tim Taylor, the Executive VP, and Joe Cherry, the CEO of the company, are the usual presenters. They do a great job. They have pretty good closing ratios. So when you don't close people directly yourself, that's fine, no problem. If they don't close after the testimonials and the calculator and they need more, get them in a webinar. Get them in a webinar and then follow up. That's your job. Because the minute they enroll, you want to turn loose the referral plan, okay? So the webinars are weekly. Invite your clients, get them out there. If you want to forego other steps and you want to just jump to the webinar, then make your life, one step, then just invite people to the webinar, period. That's all. But I'd recommend that you do the testimonials calculator and then the webinar. Now, you notice down there we have trivesta.com/IRG. You'll have a webinar just like that. It'll be / whatever your domain is. That particular domain is IRG Benefits and Rolando Gonzalez, okay? So for those people who are here with Rolando, that's where they would register. It's a very simple process. Now, here's the call to action. It's pretty simple. I'm a totally transparent guy. For those of you who know me and you speak to the people, if you don't know me, you speak to the people who I've worked with, who have invited you. I am available all the time, and my commitment is that your success in this is my commitment. I'm looking for people to earn 7-figure incomes, okay? And I want to help you get there, and it's very realistic. It can be done. But there's an old cartoon that I had from many years ago that I've always really kind of liked, because there's two real objections in life. Okay, there's only two. There's only two objections you hear predominantly, and the both are I don't have time, and the second one is I want to think about it. It always comes down to one of those two, and that's what people get themselves locked into. So as you can see here, here's a king getting ready to go out to do battle, and he's got his battle plans, and lo and behold, there's a salesman who has all kinds of very, very high scale weaponry. He's got rockets, he's got Gatling guns, he's got ammunition, and could easily win the war with these things. However, the king, when it's shown to him, says, we've got a battle to fight. I haven't time to see some crazy salesman. And so it is with the public we serve. They particularly don't have time, but we get outside the white noise. Of course, if you're stuck in the white noise and you're competing with everybody else with the same message everybody else has, people got earplugs in. They don't want to hear it anymore. They've heard it I don't have time to listen to that message again. But you approach people with a new, fresh idea and a new message, and they're willing ultimately to listen. All of them? No. But the ones who do are the ones you need. We've got the right message at the right time to the right audience. And that's very powerful. So as an advocate, here is your total out-of-pocket commitment. Now, some of you spend this or more on leads on a week. Some of you spend 10 times this in a month putting steak dinners in front of people. None of that is necessary. As an advocate, you're going to pay $300, $299.95 one time. That's your setup, and that includes your first month. Prospio membership itself costs $69.95 a month, which, after 3 sales, is eliminated. So you don't have that payment anymore. And then you have a $24.95, $25 a month administrative fee for your website, your back office, and all of that. So that's what you'll have, $25 a month. Okay? The incomes that could come down the line just from Trivesta, you could actually build a 7-figure income with Trivesta alone without insurance sales. But I'm trying to help insurance professionals use this as a tool, a door opener, creating another residual income to get you more insurance sales. That is really what we're talking about here today. So, again, I'm Carl Schilling. I want to thank you so much for your time today. You can see my contact information down there. And let me close with this. I want to share with you the commitment that you have from me and my organization. Advocacy's been around almost 7 years now. We have saved the public, we have saved people directly over $7.5 million. At one point early on, I had 12,000 members in advocacy. However, those were all free memberships, and those were people we served and I took care of for other reasons. I was doing other consulting, and I had other things going on. When I decided I wanted to monetize advocacy, I figured it might be easy to go back and monetize the 12,000 members, but it wasn't. So and that's a lesson that you can learn in marketing. Once you give somebody something for free and you give them good quality, they will never pay for it. So you got to be careful how much you drip out to people and what you give them in quality. You should always give them quality, but you should hold back something because, again, people, once it's free, it's always free in their mind. So it's hard to manage expectations. So anyway, that's why I had to look for something that would suit advocacy and what we do. And that is where Trivesta came along. That is why Trivesta fits. And it's a perfect time. We have a magnificent time. Nobody talks to people about the realities of financial independence. And it's really the core issue. Forget about retirement and all these other sideline messages, because the issue is financial independence. People are going to retire successfully, financial independence. People are going to live in an entrepreneurial society and be able to do what they want when they want and go where they want and see what they want and serve who they want, financial independence. So it's all about financial independence, and there's no pathway to financial independence without the first step of stopping the losses into the future. And this is proven because 95% of the population never reaches financial independence. Now, those are startling numbers in the richest nation in the world, but yet it's true. Those numbers exist. And as a financial industry, we've done a total disservice to people because we've ignored the power of amortization. Maybe we've ignored it because the banks and some of the industries that we in or we represent, maybe it's in their best interest and they don't want us telling people. I don't know, but I think the more people we tell and the more people we expose this to, they'll jump in. Now, one last quick story, because I know that quite a bit of, especially with Rolando and his arena, you have a very strong Latin market. I want to make sure I use that properly, the terminology, Hispanic, Latin, however we want to define it. But here locally in Orlando, there is a group, real estate organization that I did not bring in. I didn't get my hands on them first, but they are really reaching out and having a lot of success in the Latin community with Trivesta. And they are predominantly only work the Latin community. It's a very large Latin-based real estate operation. So they are closing at 75% rate. So they're doing really, really well. So I do think the message for you, people who have, ties into that community, this message goes over well in that community. Those are people who are stuck in these dilemmas, just like all the other middle-class people, but specifically, we have materials for that. So anyway, I'm always available 24/7. I do sleep, but I'm available, so whoever invited you will tell you that, I'm a man of honor. I do help people with everything we do, and I'm committed to you earning 7 figures. I mean, that's my commitment. But you're going to invest $300 one time, and you're going to pay $25 a month, and that's it. Okay, and you're never going to buy a lead again. You're never going to have to pay a marketing dollar unless you want to. This is not pie in the sky. It's not false advertising. It's not the usual IMO, FMO fluff. It's real. It's real. You follow a process. I've pre-written the process. I'm writing a new book, The Middle Class Millionaire. You'll be able to get copies of the book. You'll be able to use that. It's real. We have a unique message. Financial victimization is a $250 billion a year problem. And it's even more if we add in amortization, because there's $8 trillion in mortgages, $8 trillion. So it's a $1 trillion problem, and everybody's losing money inside those trillions. The banks aren't. The banks, the merchants, and the credit card companies are waxing rich beyond belief. But they're doing it on the backs of the middle class and everybody we serve. So it's a big win here, okay? Big win. So let's get started. Let's get started today. Let's not waste any time. Let's get out there and talk about financial independence, okay? All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for your attendance today. I want to thank you even more for your attention, and I hope very strongly that we get a chance to work together. With that said, I'm Carl Schilling, and you have a wonderful day.